right now. I'm going to try to share my screen here. Salute to my guy Kenny for dropping it in the comments. Let's see if we can share the screen. Okay, let's get right to it. Let me know if you guys can see it. Should be good to go. Here we go. Breaking news: the Grizzlies fire head coach Taylor Jenkins. Okay, and whoever want to start and give their immediate reactions to this breaking news, the mic is yours. Zay, John.
That's a choice.
It just doesn't make sense.
That's a choice.
It doesn't make sense. The Memphis Grizzlies are top 5 in the Western Conference. John Morant has been healthy. I mean, he hasn't been playing well all year, but another one not healthy. He hasn't had many losing seasons. The only time he had a losing season was when all the guys were hurt on the team. I think it doesn't make sense why you fire Taylor Jenkins, because who is the replacement for the coach this team? There's no real plan. You fired him mid-season as if you're firing 2 weeks before the playoffs.
2 weeks before the playoffs.
As if the season's already done. As if you already wrote off the season. That doesn't really make any sense to me. I just think that the new regime, the new ownership, I just think they're making poor decisions from Dallas to Memphis. I just think that they're not doing justice or due diligence for their teams. It doesn't really make sense what this Western Conference is doing. It just to me it's baffling. I'm just baffled. I think Taylor Jenkins is going to get a job hired immediately. Might even be to a playoff team next off season. So it's going to be interesting what happens with him in the next couple of weeks. It just doesn't make any sense that the Memphis Grizzlies will fire the guy who's been the architect of success for the Memphis Grizzlies, who's brought that grit and grind to that team. So just disappointed. Honestly, disappointed.
This is unfortunately what happens when a team gets new ownership and you just don't have your guys on it. Guys that you hired, guys that you came in with, guys that you saw their day one or you went in day one with them, and that just wasn't his guy. So what I think is going on is there's something going on in the locker room that we don't know about, and they just took a chance to be able to get rid of somebody who was not their guy. And it's just unfortunate because the Grizzlies right now, like you said, top 5 in the Western Conference, 44-29, 15 games over 500. I don't see any reason to get rid of Taylor Jenkins with the success that this team has been having. You know, you have John Morant, a superstar who has been a little bit troubled in the past, but has been able to go out there and produce for the team that drafted him. And he's not having a standout year, but I have no reason to believe that John Morant isn't going to show up during playoff time. And now you're putting him in a much worse position to be able to do that, because a new coach is going to come in with his systems, and there's not really going to be a lot of time for compromise. Again, 2 weeks before the playoffs, that's kind of the key point here. And I don't see how you set up a team to win if you're going to fire your head coach 2 weeks before, and you guys will very much likely skipping the play-in and having to be ready to go. I don't understand it.
Look, I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it.
Okay.
It's the culture of the NBA. We see it so many times. When it comes to firing coaches, we've seen it too many times where coaches is not given a chance to win, where organizations build terrible rosters and expect them to coach, water into wine. We see it so many times, so many firings. I always go back to Kenny Atkinson because he got done dirty by Brooklyn. Didn't give him a shot, was on the bench for years, on the Warriors before he got another opportunity. It showed that he's one of the best coaches in the league. Look at what Cleveland Cavaliers are doing right now. It's a constant thing. You blame the coach for your roster ineptitude. The same thing happens all the time. They just get recycled. And there's a lot of young, brilliant minds like Taylor Jenkins out here that all they need is an opportunity. But yet we fire those guys like Kenny Atkinson, like him, and go for the same old heads like Mike Budenholzer, like Doc Rivers. It's like a cycle, and I don't get the way how these organizations build their rosters. I'm looking at some of the trades that have been made over the last couple of years. And I'm like, what? Luka Doncic trade more directly. That was like the most idiotic trade I've ever seen in my life. Like, what? What is your plan? I don't understand the way how a lot of these teams do business. Look at the Suns, okay, and what they built over there, and all the talent they brought in, and all the expensive contracts they brought in. A guy with a no trade clause, and you want to trade him. And I'm looking at this roster. They can't even defend the 3-point line. What is going on? You know,
Right.
I don't understand it. I wish I could, because it would give me a better outlook on what's really going on here. But this doesn't surprise me. It's a horrible move. Considering the playoffs are around the corner, that's just like waving the red flag, like, yo, we done, we tapping out. I don't get it. Maybe somebody can help me understand it.
Let me say one thing before I let Zay get in here. This is why I believe something is going on in that Grizzlies locker room that we don't know about, because this usually happens when somebody's complaining about the coach, and then, like you said, the coaches aren't given a chance in the NBA. So as soon as somebody says something negative about a coach, it's over for them. The Bucks
Yeah, it's a
got rid of the
players'
coach
league.
last year when they were 30
The
and 13.
NBA is a players' league,
Yes.
and
Too
obviously, if
much.
certain players get into it with head coaches. If a player says, you know what, I'm going to show up late to practice today, and the coach call him out, he gone. We've seen it so many
God
times.
forbid. I'm surprised they didn't get rid of Pat Riley in Miami after that Jimmy Butler fiasco.
And that's because he's the Godfather.
That's right. Go ahead, Zach.
It's ineptitude and that ownership. It's trickling down to the teams. I mean, a lot of these teams, they're turning into what the New York Knicks were prior to 2018. They were just making trades. They were just getting rid of assets. They were doing all this other stuff that didn't really make sense, but it brought in the bigger names. And it doesn't make any sense that the Grizzlies, after the All-Star break, decide, hey, we're gonna fire our head coach because we have no shot of winning. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And it's interesting because they are 28-15 with John Morant, 16-14 without him. So they have a winning record no matter what, and they're still firing the head coach. This has absolute insanity that what these front offices are doing. But I know another teams that take on is Taylor Jenkins, and he's gonna turn them into a winning franchise. I mean, that's just what it is. When they fired Ime Udoka, when none of the information was out clearly on what the heck happened or what it was,
They got rid of
clearly
him.
and concisely, he went to Houston Rockets, and now the Houston Rockets are top 2 in the Western Conference. So
that's what I'm saying. These young,
just
these brilliant minds is out here killing the game in the NBA in a good way. And they, the ones that go and they replace those guys with, veteran guys. Look at Joe Mazzulla. Even though they got rid of Ime, they got another one in Joe Mazzulla, young guy, 3-point specialist type of guy, analytical guy. And look what he done. He won a championship. So I think we need to stop treating these young coaches and coaches in general like they're a pack of dirt. I look at the NFL. We don't really see firings in season. Sure, it happened a couple times from time to time. You would have to be really, really bad for that to happen. You look at Gerard Mayo last year, didn't get fired to the last game. After the last game, there's more class in there. When it comes to the NBA, it's a totally different league. Coaches get tossed around like sluts. I'm just being honest. It's unfortunate.
It's a whorehouse in the NBA the way they just toss people around. 100%.
But anyway, we're gonna go. I'm still like trying to process that whole information, but we're gonna go on and move on to our regularly scheduled show here.
Can I say one more thing before we move on?
Right
what
on.
they pointed out about their record, about the Grizzlies having a winning record with and without John Morant, their star player, that's coaching.
Yep, that is. And I still don't know what's going on.